Today I want to talk about the incorrect idea that most of us have that prevents us from more successfully dealing with negative thoughts. So imagine, for example, you have a meeting coming up or a speech that you have to give, and you're having all sorts of negative thoughts come up around doubting yourself, shame, worry, what if this happens, all these different stories, right? And the problem is that most of us imagine the way to solve this is through more thoughts. We think that we have to first identify the cause. Why am I having these thoughts? What is actually going on there? What is the root of that? If I can really understand where those thoughts are coming from, why they're happening, then I can fix it. Then I can just tell myself, that's wrong, you don't need to worry about that, and then the negative thoughts will stop. They'll disappear, and I'll be good. Right? So that is the false conception that most of us, especially analytical thinker types, are working under. The solution to negative thoughts is more thinking. But it's kind of like if you've fallen into a river, a fast-moving river, and you're trapped, and you think, well, I just need to swim harder, and that's going to be the solution so I don't get pulled down the river. When in fact the solution is to just grab onto this branch on the side and pull yourself out of the river. So using a completely different method. Instead of fighting trouble swimming by swimming harder, you just stop swimming altogether and get out. Right? So what does that actually look like? The key here is that if your thoughts are not serving you, the solution is to shift your state. Because the reality of how the mind works is, I won't claim that we have consciousness figured out. There are a lot of different theories out there. But one that I really like is the modular theory of consciousness, which basically posits that we're not just one single unified consciousness. It's rather that we have many different parts, and they're all kind of vying to be in the driver's seat. And depending on which of those parts is in charge at the moment, that's going to trigger certain types of thoughts. And so if there's a part in charge that's freaking out, then certain types of thoughts are going to appear. And if a different part that's feeling chill and grounded is in charge, then other types of thoughts are going to appear. Right? And so this kind of makes sense if you think about the fight or flight response, right? That if you are thinking about this upcoming meeting at work and it's triggering enough, it feels scary enough that your body, your nervous system perceives that as danger, then you're going to be sent into a physiological state that is preparing you to face actual physical danger. So your heart is going to speed up, your vision is going to get more focused, kind of tunnel vision, different hormones are going to be released, all sorts of physiological things are going to happen, thinking that you're about to face a tiger, right? And so when you are in that psycho-emotional, physiological state, your brain is going to prioritize certain types of thoughts, right? You're going to be having thoughts about strategizing for your survival. How do I navigate this situation to keep safe? It makes sense that, you can only have so many thoughts at a time, and so your brain is going to prioritize the types of thoughts that make sense in that state. So if you're in that state, and you stay in that state, and you simply try to think harder, it's going to be really difficult. In my experience, when in that state, sometimes it can feel like I can see kind of the beginning of a useful thought arise, and then it's almost like it gets sucked into a black hole. I kind of see like, wait, that seemed useful. Oh no, it's gone. And then, another one. Oh, maybe that's useful. No, it's gone. And again, it's because you only have a certain amount of energy to expend, and so your brain wants to spend it on what is going to keep you alive if it thinks you're in danger. In contrast, if you're in a state that feels calm and in control and confident, then you're going to be able to have thoughts that are much more expansive, that are much more curious and taking your time and appreciating, seeing the good instead of the danger. So all this to say, the solution is fairly straightforward, but I think it's really valuable when offering a solution that might seem kind of trite, or you've heard it many times before, like take some deep breaths, right? It's so easy to dismiss that. And so I'm giving you all this context to hopefully prove to you that there's actually a lot more wisdom in these slowing down, grounding techniques than it might seem on the surface. It might seem like they're just kind of throwaway, silly things. But if you see it this way instead, that the goal is to shift your state. It's to switch you from one psycho-emotional state into another, literally activating a different part of the brain, then these techniques start to seem a lot more important. And so, often when I'm working with a client who is feeling a lot of nervousness, they have a lot of stories about, oh no one's going to like me when I go to this event, or people aren't going to respect me in this meeting, or people are going to laugh at me when I'm public speaking. I ask them, okay, close your eyes, and what are you experiencing right now as you think about that? And most often what they'll describe is some kind of like tingly energy. It feels like things are kind of like rising upward, bubbling. It feels like thoughts are kind of like popping up and shooting very quickly all around. Right? So this description is all about kind of like floaty, bubbling up, tingly, things kind of moving quickly, right? So what is the antidote to that? The antidote is grounding. It's taking all that and moving it downward into more solidity, less kind of airy flightiness, right? It makes sense, right? It's kind of the opposite. And so when you're feeling in this state of kind of freaking out, everything's moving fast, oh my God, what's going to happen? The solution is to ground yourself. And so one of the most basic ways of doing that is focusing on the sensation of weight, gravity. Gravity is always there. It's literally been there your entire life, every single moment, unless perhaps you're an astronaut. Then you've experienced less gravity, still not zero probably, but actually I don't even know. Is it zero gravity or is it just very low gravity? I think it's probably very low, but anyway, okay. So to feel the weight of gravity, I invite you to close your eyes and just really feel this sense of being subtly pulled downward. If you're standing up, feel your feet pressing into the ground. If you're sitting down, feel your butt being pulled into the chair underneath you. And really focus on the physical points of contact, the sensations of your butt pressing into the seat. Notice when that flightiness in your mind is pulling you into thoughts. We don't have time for this. What about this? What about this? And just gently refocus your awareness onto your butt, feeling what that sensation of weight is like. What is it like to feel your butt pressed into the seat? If you're not already doing it, do it right now as I'm talking. Close your eyes. Feel your butt in the seat. Really feel that sensation of weight, of heaviness. Your body has weight. And see if you can really feel that weight going into the earth and just how massive the earth is. There's so much weight down there. And so in contrast, all this little flighty energy happening inside you is small potatoes compared to this giant solid weight underneath you that's always there. And so see if you can really focus on letting that gravity act upon you, letting that weight pull you down. And with each out-breath, just let yourself sink more. Let that weight pull you down just a little bit more. And you can scan down your body and notice any place that you're resisting, any place where you're holding tension and fighting that force of gravity, any place when your muscles are tighter than they need to be. You can check your jaw, your shoulders, your chest, your eyes, your belly, your hands, your butt, your thighs, your feet. Notice anywhere you're clenching, you're holding, and see if on the out-breath you can just let it soften. Let it fall. Let your arms fall to the side. Imagine you're lying on the beach and just feeling the warm sand underneath you and sinking into the warm sand. Let yourself just collapse and surrender. And again, whenever the thoughts are pulling you away, just come back to the surrender, the softening, the weight being pulled downward. And then feeling that breath in and out, in and out. It's always there. Or you can put your hand on your heart. Just feel that steady beating that's always there. And so the key is that all of this energy about thinking about stories, what could go wrong, what if people think this about me, all of that is happening in the future. All of that is just what ifs. You don't know what the future holds. You have no idea what's going to happen in this meeting or this public speaking thing. Maybe it'll be canceled. Maybe it'll be everyone loves you, right? You really can't know for sure what's going to happen. The only thing you do know for sure is what's happening right now, right in this moment. Gravity is acting upon you. Your heart is beating. You're feeling the breath in and out. All of these things are absolutely true right now. They're much more solid. And so that's the solution, to notice this uncertainty, this kind of bubbly energy, and come back to what is solid. That is how you shift your state into a more solid, grounded, confident state. And once you're in that, it might just take a few minutes. After just a few minutes of grounding yourself, really focusing on that, you should notice that the quality of your thoughts changes. You might start having thoughts of like, actually it's not so bad as I thought. I do know what I'm talking about. They should respect me, right? Because you're not coming from a place of fear and scarcity and danger. You're coming from a place of groundedness. Wow. Here I am in this solid, grounded body, standing on this solid earth, my heart solidly beating, my breath solidly in and out, right? So once your body, your nervous system feels safe and grounded and comforted, then you will start to have more useful, productive thoughts. So I encourage you to practice noticing when your default orientation is, oh crap, I'm having overwhelming thoughts. The solution to fix it is thinking. I need to figure out why this is happening. I need to solve it. I need to change my thoughts. And instead, can you frame it as, wow, I am in not the most effective state right now. How can I shift my state? How can I give the wheel of the car to a different part of myself that feels more empowered instead of this part that's freaking out? And the first step toward doing that is noticing that it's happening, noticing that you're in an unproductive state. Then the second step is shifting the state by grounding yourself, by feeling solid, by breathing, feeling the weight, softening your body. That sends very real signals to the brain on how to think. So that will naturally lead to you having thoughts that will serve you much better. All right, give it a try. Let me know how it goes, and I hope you have a nourishing day.